Hello, welcome. I am so excited to be here with you today, and I have somebody special that I want to introduce to you. She's actually a client. Her entire family are are clients, and they recently completed the total body restoration program, and they have some truly transformative results that I would love for them to share. Jesse is representing the whole family here today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But like I just feel like there's such a huge impact just on your entire family, like working together over
Huge.
the past like year and a half, I think it's been,
Yeah, we're
or
definitely
more.
coming up on the 2 year mark soon
Yeah.
next year. Yeah.
So I'd I'd love to just hear more about the reason why you said yes to working with me and yes to uh cellular detoxification with me, and just share.
Yeah, I mean, we're a family of four, and like Dr. Lauren has been so crucial in helping every single one of our family members. um, so, a little bit of backstory: my husband was diagnosed with Crohn's. My son also had an injury shortly after birth. We homeschool, and my daughter needs help focusing sometimes. And then my hormones were all out of whack over a period of time, and Dr. Lauren has helped with all of those, and I'm so grateful.
Oh, good. I'm grateful that you said yes to me.
Me
You know,
too. Me too.
I mean, can you share a little bit about just any of the significant changes that you noticed, like while you were working with me, with everyone? You can break each person down at a
Yeah,
time.
I mean, it's like four faceted every question. So the biggest reason I just that our family decided to work with Dr. Lauren as closely as possible is from my husband's Crohn disease. He was in so much pain. He had lost so much weight. Like he had no nutrition in his body. It was going straight through him. No energy. He was in the bed all the time. Like I had no husband. My kids had no father. It was really, really bad. And we, I actually looked this up before we went live. We spent like $15,000 on other modalities trying to heal him between doctors, medication, and then other natural remedies and healing modalities and, chiropractors, all the things. And none of them made a significant difference. And I just had like that gut feeling. And I was like, we got to try this one last thing. Like, I'll pay for it all. All you got to do is commit to taking it. And within like 2 weeks of getting all the things and implementing all the things that Dr. Lauren said, I started to get my husband back. He wasn't in the bathroom as often. He wasn't having to stay in the bed. He didn't have as much pain. He wasn't losing weight anymore. Um, it was a slow process because he let it get so bad before he did something about it. But over the last year and a half, you would never, ever guess what he went through. And he's actually never taken the prescription that the doctor gave him. Don't tell anybody.
Well, listen live. Well, I mean, I love that, that he trusted this one last time. Like I love the fact that you're just like, let's try this one last time. You tried so many things over the years, but it's
Yeah.
like, no, one more time. And it
Mhm.
was it was just that one last time that made the difference.
Just try
Is the
one more thing.
uh
I told him, just try this one more thing.
Yep, he did it. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Was there any specific moment that was like the aha moment during that transition? Like during what, because you came to me, I wrote everything up, you started
Mhm.
implementing, but as he was taking the steps to restore his body, Was there a aha moment? Like you were like, oh my gosh, this is it. It's working. It's finally working.
Yeah, it was just about that 2 week, like that 2 to 4 week mark. I could already see significant results whenever we had literally gone down every rabbit hole to try and get some relief.
Mm-hmm.
Not even looking for like, I mean, of course we're looking for long-term healing, but like anything to just get him some relief, get him some energy, stop the blood, and for things to start moving in the right direction that fast. Like I know I sent a voice message to Dr. Lauren in that time frame, and I was just crying. I was like, I can see it. It's working. Thank you. And I was just like a blubbering mess. Like, oh,
I remember you're like, I have my
I
husband
forever
back.
feel eternally grateful to Dr. Lauren because nothing else worked.
Yeah, I remember that moment. You were like, I finally have my husband back. I finally have my husband back.
Yeah. And like, if I'm like really, really, really honest, if it hadn't been for Dr. Lauren, I don't know that I would have a husband because he had gotten so complacent that he thought that that was his new normal when I think he was probably not going to make it through it.
Oh my gosh. I hate to even think about that.
I know, like I was that scared. I was like, we've got to do something. And then it took that long for us to start working with Dr. Lauren. And the Lord was like, you're not done yet.
Yep, not done yet.
Yeah.
So how has this changed your life now? Like the Brian before and the Brian now. Like how has that changed? Like what is it like now in your family? Like even his career, because I know that was a huge.
Yeah. His career was a big thing. Like a couple years ago, he went through a course to within the military. He went through a course to change his job. He wanted like a bigger, better job, and he had an aspiration of doing that. He went through it, and they decided not to continue for whatever reason. They can't choose everybody, and he wants to do it again. But over the course of this time, when I had Milo, and then 3 weeks later, Milo was in the hospital for, I mean, that's part of a different story, but he was in the hospital for months and months. Um, and it like triggered all this stress in Brian's body, and that's how it presented and was eventually diagnosed with Crohn's. You know, just the turnaround was so amazing.
Yeah. Like what is it like now for him physically, emotionally? What is like now? Like what is he able to do now that he wasn't able to do before?
He doesn't have to take naps. He gets to enjoy his naps now. Like he's able to work, which he wasn't before. Like he was literally out of work for months and months. He's able to enjoy his naps, sleep through the night. There's no blood in his stool, which is huge. Um, he's just able to live a really thriving life. And most people think, oh, I'm healthy, I feel great. But you don't realize how bad you feel until you actually feel great. You get all that bad stuff out, all the inflammation down, your energy is back up, and your mental clarity is so much better. Like he's a different person than from when he was sick. And
Yeah.
he's put on more muscle now than before he got sick.
Oh wow.
Like he's really strong now, so it's completely different.
Oh, I love to hear that. Love to hear that. I know you spoke a little bit about just Milo and his time in the hospital and things like how do you like what tell me your experience about just working with me in regards with Milo and his time in the hospital and things like that.
Working with you was like so crucial. Like it's the thing that made me feel sane because like I want to be super crunchy. I don't want to have to utilize medication and hospitalizations and you know try to sift through what the doctors are telling me
Mhm.
and figure out what I can handle naturopathically and what actually needs medication and Western medicine attention. So, working with you was really helpful when it came to deciphering what the doctors were saying
Mhm.
and whether or not it's something that you and I could work on or whether we needed to leave it in their hands
Mhm.
and the severity level of it.
Yeah. And
Yep.
now, like, oh, what were you saying?
I said, you definitely kept me sane. So helpful.
Yeah, that was a it's just so good to have that support. Like when you're going through something so traumatic or like you have everyone spitting things out you at you left and right, and you're like, what is the truth? And
Yeah.
sometimes it's good to have that other person like to decipher and help guide you through that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so good.
He ended up being hospitalized over 60 days, 5 different hospitalizations, and 2 surgeries. So, a lot of it we were able to take care of naturopathically, but
Mhm.
ultimately, like the surgeries were necessary. And so, I'm glad that we had our team of doctors and our doctor in our back pocket for sure.
Doc on demand.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, man, that's awesome. So what would you say for someone, because I know you went through, total body restoration as
I
well,
did. Mhm.
and you weren't necessarily dealing with something like life-threatening or, um, that was like a medical diagnosis per
Right.
se, but why let let us know, like, why did you choose to go through a cellular detox as well alongside with your husband?
Yep. Yeah. I just decided to put our whole family in to work as closely with Dr. Lauren as possible because I mean, we were all just dealing with so much all at the same time. We were dealing with aftermath from Milo's sickness and Brian's sickness. I was like, we all need help. Like, just tell me how much it is. I don't care. I'll make it happen. And my issues weren't necessarily life threatening, but they did impact my everyday life. And I was like, if I can get my hormones under control, my stress under control, and clear these things out, I know without talking to Dr. Lauren or other doctors or whatever, I know that everything will balance back out. And that's exactly what happened.
Love it.
I did the whole detox at the end of last year. I went on a certain protocol over the summer last year, and I feel so different, so much better.
Love
It was worth it. It was
it.
hard, worth it.
I remember, you saying, "Oh my gosh, I could see my abs." That happened.
Yeah, I remember that. I went on like a low carb slash like healthy carb, high fiber, high protein diet. And it was within just a couple weeks. I was like, all the inflammation, all the bloating is gone from like my abdomen. And I was like, these abs are showing through. All this work's paying off. It made me feel really good.
Yeah. It's like when you support the body, it it miraculously heals itself, and it's so true time and time again. That's what I say,
Yeah.
um, with each and every client, and I'm so grateful that you said yes to this. And I think about so many people, they see my posts, they hear me talk about my clients, but it's like when you hear it directly from the source, like directly from the mouth of the person who actually went through it, I feel
Mhm.
like it's so much more powerful. And actually, it's like, oh, it gives somebody the belief, like, oh, this
Putting a face to the story and like being so relatable.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what would you say to someone who's like on the fence about joining, like, and stepping into a total body restoration? What would you say
Gosh.
to them if they were just like, I don't know if this is for me? What would you say?
If you've got something that you know you've got to make a change for, if you've already tried other stuff and it's not working, if you want to feel better and have it potentially resolve by this time next year, please, 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 like with tears in my eyes, just try this one more thing. You will not regret it. Like, whatever you have to do, make it happen because your body will pay you back. You will absolutely never ever regret it. You will so get way more than your money's worth. Absolutely. 10,000%. And I've made a couple of posts on Facebook and I've had people in my life like, what was your post about? Like, is that the doctor you worked with? Like, with when Milo and Brian were sick? And I'm like, yeah, you need to go check her out. Like, you should do it. You need to do it. Your future self will thank you 10,000 times over. Do it and do it now. The sooner you start, the sooner you feel better.
Yeah. I, I think that's the key. It's like, just make the move.
Just do
Like,
it.
you already know, like, what it's like to feel in pain every day. You already know what it's like to deal with your hormones all over the place. You already know what it's like to have, like, whatever it is, the health concern, fill in the blank, like whatever it is, dealing with the headaches, the migraines, the inflammation, like you already know what that's like. And imagine living like that for the rest of your life.
No, thank you.
So taking that one step into the right direction, that that is proven to work. It's proven to work. And take that leap of faith and have hope that this one last thing will work, is like your saving grace. I I say it's worth it too, but I love that you say it as well because
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer 100% commitment is better than 75, 80, or 98. If you
mhm,
jump in and commit to it and say, this is just the way it's going to be, you will adapt. It might not be overnight, but 100% commitment, doing it all the time, is
mhm,
so much easier than like, I'll do it 4 days a week. Do it every day. Then it becomes a habit. It
yeah,
becomes a way of life.
and that's the goal. The
Yes.
goal is for it to never come back.
Yes. I have changed so many things in our life. It's fantastic.
I love it. I love it. I call you the family that takes action, and you're proof of it all across the board. And so I'm grateful that you came here and shared your story so others could hear directly from the source.
Dude,
And
you just got to do it.
yeah.
You
Is
just got
there
to
is
jump in with both feet.
yeah. What did you say?
Jump in with both feet.
Yeah. She said it. Jump in with both feet.
You won't
So
regret it.
yeah. So if this is something like you are considering, if this is something you're ready to jump both feet in, and you just need to have a conversation with me and just talk about it, because I know that is helpful, and to ask all the questions to gain clarity, my inbox is open. I do have a select few spots for you to schedule an appointment with me so we can talk about this. So please comment below and say, message me and I will message you, or you can message me directly in my inbox, and let's get you some solutions. Let's get you feeling better. Let's resolve all those symptoms and get you to live life to the fullest, like Jesse is, like Brian is, like Milo's is, like Shiloh, like the whole family, the Ferguson family is. It just it's worth it.
It's so worth it. Just try this one more thing. Make it happen. Do what you have to do, but your body is going to pay you back. And you're going to be like, you're going to look back on whatever investment you ended up making and you'll be like, You promise you won't regret it. I'm not gonna cry again, but just make it happen. Just make it happen. I'm gonna stand on that soapbox for the rest of my life.
Yeah, because you lived it and you saw the results of it.
I lived through it, and I almost lost 2 people, and now we're all so healthy.
Love it. All right. Well, just message me, and my inbox is open. And like Jesse said, do it. The investment's worth it. It's so, when I think about the price you pay, and this just goes back to even with my mom, like how much, because not taking that step when my uncle was, when I was just a little girl, my uncle was, telling her, like, just start making the changes little by little. And then fast forward 20 something years later, she was in the hospital and the bills were, I mean, she had insurance, but what's insurance? Like the bills are going to pile up.
Yeah.
And then you don't have your livelihood because she had to turn around and go back to the natural way after her treatments. Like she had to go back to that. She couldn't just have, just went back to her old ways. And so just the amount of investment it took to just regain health, like it's so worth it. This little bit now versus that whole much more later.
You can pay now or you can pay later.
Yeah.
And you don't want to have to get to that point to where you don't know what your next move is. If you make the choice now, you won't have to make that decision later.
No. It's perfectly said. All righty. Well, so glad to have you here, Jesse.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's a blessing. So I will see you later, and I'll see anyone else who wants to contact me. Just message me or comment below, and we will be in touch. All right.
Yay.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.